Hey everyone, I want to talk all about cheating related fears, which is one of the most common types of fears when people come in with relationship OCD. It's also a very widely held belief around all societies about people who are cheating. It's the ultimate betrayal. They're evil, horrendous people. It should never happen. And I'm going to break down everything surrounding cheating because, and I think it's very important to look at it from the cultural context and more than likely where the belief of cheating came from, why there are no right or wrongs around cheating, just personal views, societal views as a whole, but there's no universal principles surrounding cheating. There's no universal principles stating that individuals cannot cheat, whether you like it or not, whether they're married. A vow that you take under a relationship is not bound by jail, at least not in America or UK or many other countries. Certain areas on the world it is. So it's understandable if you live in some of those areas why the belief is so strong, why we have to detach the meaning from cheating from the individual, which is really important, and why breaking down the fears surrounding cheating can be so critical for OCD's recovery. Before I go any further, please subscribe, hit that like button down below. Let me know what you think about this. And if you're really struggling with cheating-related fears, whether it's false attraction, whether it's the fear of losing control and cheating, you will definitely have to break those fears down. We can help you with that. And you can email us at phil@ocdrecovery.com, and we will get back to you in a timely fashion. And we definitely cover a lot of cheating in the OCD webinars. So if you're interested about that when we have them, please email that as well. So what do we know about cheating? Actually, I want to start somewhere else. And this is what I say to a lot of people on OCD calls. Now, when you look at the way the world is today, there's a lot more temptation to cheat and sleep around. Understandably so. It's the way the world is. Now, whether you agree with that or not, as I always say, is not really the issue. It's the belief that you hold on that. So let's take me for an example. I think the action of cheating comes with a lot of problems. And I think that it's understandable why people cheat, but it's more than likely probably best that they don't cheat in majority of the cases. But I can see reasons why people do cheat. Now, whether you agree with that or not, again, is not really the issue. It's the severity, the rigidity of the belief you're holding surrounding cheating. So let me give you two different examples. Individuals that cheat deserve to burn in hell and are evil pieces of shit. Versus, I really do not like the action of cheating, but maybe there's a reason why that person cheated, and I'm going to learn to accept the individual as a whole while disliking the behavior. And that doesn't mean you can or cannot leave the relationship. If you're in a relationship and someone cheats on you, vice versa, you can cheat on someone and never tell them and live with that secret forever. Now, I'm not promoting cheating. I'm talking about the realities of how human beings are. So when I tell people in the calls, going back to that statement, we always hear, I can't believe that person cheated. Why would they cheat? That's such an evil, horrendous action. When you flip it around to the other side, it actually makes a little bit more sense like this. I can't believe people stay together with people nowadays. There's so many options out there to cheat. Now, whether you call that hedonistic or short-term instant gratifications, that doesn't bypass the realities of life. If you're a male who believes they have a higher libido/sex drive, it's very easy to sleep with many different women. Okay, we have all the pornography, all the OnlyFans. We have places where prostitution is legal. We have a lot of people that want to live that more single lifestyle because they realize they have more options. Females have much more rights in many areas of the world today, so they have many more options. And this really disturbs a lot of people because of the beliefs they hold, maybe based around religious belief, conservatism. They want the family values and all of that. So I understand where I try my best in every situation to see where both angles are coming from. So I understand why people are very against cheating, and I understand why people would cheat, whether I agree with that or not. And I think that that's the most rational perspective to take on cheating. I think, and right now on social media, depending on who you listen to, most people, you'll hear a lot of stuff based around cheaters are the most hellish, evil creatures ever. It's the ultimate betrayal. And then when I sit that person down and I say, what if I murder your children in front of you? Is that more evil? And then they go, well, of course it is. Well, I say, well, that means you just had an overgeneralization and a catastrophizing view on cheating. So humans, by default, cannot control their sexual urges to a large degree. And I mean that in the sense of the urge being present. Now, you can withstand from acting on the urge. So do I find other people attractive in a relationship? Of course I do. Do I imagine intimacy and sex with other people? Of course I do. Does that make me an evil or bad person? That completely depends on the person's belief system. Now, people get themselves into really big trouble when they're like, I should not think like that. I'll give you a great example. In the first book on the reading list, a guy comes in to see Dr. Albert Ellis. His name is George. George comes in and says to Dr. Albert Ellis, if you've read the book and you struggle with this, you probably remember the story of George. He says, I lust after every 25 to 40-year-old woman, and I must not do this. Albert Ellis says, lusting after women isn't the problem. Your problem is your belief about that you should not lust after women. I'll repeat that. He comes in and he says, I lust after every woman, 25 to 40. I want one after another. And he said, I want to stop that, and that should not happen. Albert Ellis says, no, it's the belief that that should not happen creates a secondary and tertiary problems of berating yourself. I'm an idiot. Why do I keep doing that? Instead of attacking the core. Maybe I am someone who really is attracted to multiple women. Maybe I don't want to have a family. Many people don't like changing belief systems, especially when religious context is there. Family values are there. Is having a relationship and getting married the best option in life? Absolutely not. No chance whatsoever. And I'm married, and I'm saying that. There's great things with marriage. I love being married. There's a lot of downsides to being married. There's a lot of pros to being married. There's a lot of downsides to being single. There's a lot of pros to being single. To say that there's no pros and cons in either direction is simply irrational. Now, when you break that down, you see that there are no universal principles that state that. I always say, I know it's funny when I do this, and people don't technically like this. You know, we have laws of the universe, gravity. Right now, this is a repeatable action. If I drop this, Daisy's underneath me, she just got scared. If I drop that every time that we know of, repeatable, that will fall. That's how gravity works. Checkbook, gonna fall. Highlighter, gonna fall. Book, gonna fall. But we do not know how people are gonna view cheating. There's also a great story in The Myth of Self-Esteem where he goes to the Polynesian Islands and talks about wife swinging. Now, they hold many other dogmas on life, but they don't view cheating and wife swinging as such. So if you went to that society and you said to them, hey, cheating is the worst thing ever, they would look at you and say, you're an idiot. We don't think it is. We think it's amazing. Wife swinging is great. Life is about orgies. Life is about sexual fantasies. But then they have these really other strong beliefs. Humans are born into this world with no belief systems whatsoever. As many people like to believe that people were born with a belief system, it's simply not true. More than likely what's going on is there's a lot less free will than people think. I can't prove this, by the way. I just what I believe. From a statistical standpoint of the way the world works, humans are born in a shell. If I was born in the Nick Piniella shell in maybe an Arab country, maybe I would be Muslim. Maybe I would be much more conservative on family values. Maybe I would think women don't have to have as many rights, etc., because of the culture I was born up in. Cheating is not inherently bad. It's just bad the way society views it, and the action tends to get you in more trouble, right? If you're married and you own a business like me and I do with my wife, and I go out there and cheat on my wife all the time, I could easily make that decision if I wanted to. But it comes with a lot of problems. Causes Erica a lot of distress. I wouldn't like that. Have to break up the business. That would be annoying. The dogs have to be split. We'd have to move out. We just bought a home together. We have a lot of problems. That's not the only reason that stops me from cheating. I just think that those are many things to consider when you're going to cheat. If that's something you are about to engage in. This is a very difficult conversation for people to have because we hold cheating in very emotional and strong black and white views, which is understandable. When you have a belief system based around Catholicism, Christianity, Muslim, Stoicism, Buddhism, whether it's a philosophy or religion, and there's a lot of context, it's all based on faith, people will hold cheating in a very black and white view. Now let's go into that. Now we broke down the belief systems about cheating. We can dislike the action of cheating while accepting the human beings. It's very easy to look at someone who cheats and say, that's an evil person, but the chances of you having fantasies, whether you're in a marriage or whether same-sex marriage, whatever it is, the person that you're with or you're dating, the chances of you not having sexual fantasies around other people in your life are probably very, very low to next to zero. And many people who are afraid to say that. Let's say we have someone who believes heavily in Christianity, and again, this is another right or wrong thing. They're married, they lost their virginity to their husband. I have never had a sexual fantasy about anyone else. The chances of that are so low. Is it impossible? No, it's so low. But the reality is people don't want to talk about that based off the fear of rejection and the fear of being a bad person. So what do you have to stop doing if you have this? You got to stop Googling and researching. You got to stop watching stuff of 5 ways to know if I'm with the right person. All that stuff, all that nonsense. It's very much nonsense and garbage. It's got to go. You got to stop following that stuff. It's no good for you whatsoever. It's very black and white. That doesn't mean you can't be exposed to that, but for now, gone for now doesn't mean gone forever, especially since you're chasing a feeling, okay? You have to stop talking about this stuff with your partner. That's a big one that has to go. And you have to start changing your perspectives on cheating. Remember, acceptance doesn't mean agreement. We can dislike the action of cheating while accepting individuals for what they do and accepting the possibility that you could lose control and cheat. I know I'd never cheat. I would never do that. If you went to someone who's cheated on their husband or wife after 35 years, if you went back 20 years in time and you said to them, hey, you're going to cheat on your wife in 20 years from now, they might look at you and say, you're absolutely insane. I would never do that. But we have no idea. Same thing with addiction. If you're struggling with this as well, not to get off topic. I know I'll never relapse. You don't know that. Many people who have relapsed have said the same thing. So it's being aware of the realities of life. Acceptance doesn't mean agreement. Wearing the urges, getting comfortable with allowing your mind to bring up any sexual fantasies that it wants, wearing that uncertainty as you change your belief systems surrounding cheating. To sum it up, I've cheated on many people in my life. I don't cheat anymore. I like the behavior where I'm at. I think it's really good for my life. I think it's good for myself and great for my marriage. Do I know with absolute certainty I'll never cheat in the future? No one knows for sure. People don't like hearing that because they want certainty. I'll try my best not to do it. I love my wife. Can I know for sure that I love my wife? Of course not. This is why ROCD has no pull on me. It's the black and whites that get us into trouble. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. This was probably very triggering for some people. Very good to hear. Again, if you're really struggling with cheating, please reach out and we can get back to you and help you with that at phil@ocdrecovery.com. Thank you again and enjoy the rest of your day.